Watermelon sugar. Hi! Watermelon sugar. Hello! Hello!
Good morning!
Good morning!
So, what we are going to do today, actually, you know what? Let me start with that backstory. Backstory. We are under the umbrella of Maranatha Ministries. End of backstory. There you go.
Wait, Maranatha is a Bible camp in western Nebraska. It's near Maxwell, Nebraska, if you've ever heard of that. It's closer to North Platte, if you know that town. It's small, but that's where
It's small,
Maranatha
but
is.
it's there.
Yeah, and we grew up, well, I guess I grew up going there, and that's actually how we met.
Yep, that's right. That's how we met. We met at Maranatha Bible Camp. We both worked there, but that's getting into what we're going to talk about later. So, what we are going to be doing today for our event, we are going to have these cute little glass bottles, and we're going to have little mini bouquets in each of them for the tables that girls are going to sit at. And so, we're going to be making those today, and hours we're making them, we're going to be talking about Maranatha, our experiences there, some of our favorite memories, how we met, yada, yada, yada. Yes. And
why you should go.
Yes, and why you should go. It is
amazing.
What was your first experience with Maranatha ever?
My first experience with Maranatha.
Yeah.
I went to a small church in Malcolm, Nebraska, and all my siblings went to Maranatha, and so that was kind of my first experience. I remember sitting on a couch watching, like, they would give you DVDs before YouTube was the thing. They would give you, like, a DVD of the highlights, and I would watch them over and over and over again, and I was so excited to go. So that's, like, my first memory about camp, because I didn't know what it was until my brother showed me these videos, and I was so excited.
How was it?
How was what?
Your first experience. Like, what do you remember?
When I was there?
Yeah.
I remember walking up to the van, and sorry. I remember walking up to the van and being like welcomed so well. I felt so loved, and I didn't know anyone actually with the church that I went with. And that really is what made me want to do what I'm doing, is because I felt so loved by those people, and I want to be that for other people, and Maranatha was kind of the start of that.
Yeah. So. And my first...
Jessica's first experience. What was your first experience with Maranatha?
My first experience with Maranatha, actually, my family used to go to the... Maranatha has, like, a huge 4th of July celebration every year. Like, it's big, and it gets bigger and bigger every year. So, the latest one that they had, not this year because of the pandemic, but last year, it was, 800 people came? Mm-hmm. It was huge. And, yeah, that's like twice the size of the town that they're next to. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, super big. Pretty much growing up, that was my whole experience with Maranatha, was I went to the 4th of July celebration, and I looked forward to it every year. It was super fun. Yeah. But I never went to camp there or anything. And then the first experience I had working there, I volunteered as the part of the sweet shop, which is like their snack shop, basically. I volunteered to work at the sweet shop, and then I did that for a couple of years, just like a couple times every summer. I would go to, like, their skate nights sometimes over the winter. But my first ever experience working there was after I graduated high school in 2017. And my best friend at the time was working there. And then I finally applied at Maranatha. And I was like, well, this will be great because I can work with my friend. And they actually accepted my application, so I had a summer job. And so, yeah, that was my first experience ever working at Maranatha that summer. And I knew nobody.
Yeah. That was 2017?
Yeah.
Okay, I worked there 2016, so I worked the year before she did.
Yeah.
Because my brother worked there, and I was like, I want to work there. And so I did. What do you want? Clippers! Here's the flowers! And I actually didn't know Jessica the first year. We never talked to each other.
Nope. I had social anxiety, and so I was so scared and intimidated by her. That's why we never talked. She was just so nice and kind, and she followed Jesus so well, and I was like, I can't be like that. And so then I didn't like her. So yeah, that's why we didn't hang out. Working there, so my first summer working there, I had like the greatest friends in the world. One of my really, really, really close friends I met that year, Mac Humphrey, and she is still a close friend right now. She's up there, man. She's like, if Ellie was my biological sister, Mac would be my best friend. She's like right there. Anyway, yeah, just great community, honestly. Working in camp provides you with great community.
We wouldn't be friends. This wouldn't be happening. All this stuff if we didn't go to camp.
That's right. Flash forward to when we became friends, 2018. So throughout the year 2017 to 18, I found my identity in Christ. He took away my social anxiety. Totally gone. Amazing story. I'll share my testimony a different time. Woohoo! Anyway, and I went back to camp because of the community there, and I was like, I just love camp, and I want to go back, and I'm going to be friends with Ellie Powers. And so I had that goal when I went to camp. She had no idea. First day at camp, I was late to training, and so I like interrupted training, and I felt really bad about that. But like Cece and Peyton came up and gave me a hug, and Ellie came up and gave me a hug, and I was like, oh, and so it begins. Look at what she did while I was talking. Okay, you take it away, because I want to do something.
Okay.
Oh, dominoes.
Good thing they're not real. In 2016 is kind of where it begins. You've seen in a couple of our previous videos, or one of our first video, if you watched it. If not, go ahead and watch it. We get to know us video. But before camp, that semester before, so January, my brother was diagnosed with MS, and it was kind of a chain of events that set off for me. Like, my siblings all moved away, and me and my other brother were really close, and I kind of viewed him as like my spiritual guide, and I think I believed a lot of things because he believed, and so I just kind of blindly followed him rather than God. And my brother went on a really long mission trip, so he was gone, and my sister moved away, and then my other brother was diagnosed with MS. And so these three things happened, and I just felt very alone, and I was mad at God because like, why would he do all this? Why would he take my family away from me and then make them sick and then do all this stuff? So that kind of put me in a position of running away from God, because I didn't have an accurate a view of who he was in that time. Like, he was right next to me through it all. But I decided to run away. So as I was running away from God, I began to struggle a lot with self-worth because I didn't see God I didn't see myself the way God made me to be. I saw myself as unworthy, disgusting, ugly, not worth it. And so I ended up struggling with self-harm in that, because that was kind of my outlet. Like, I should punish myself for how bad I am. But I ended up working at camp that summer. That was my first summer. And one night in worship, I was just praying that God would heal my heart from this pain of self-worth, not having a correct view of myself. And I prayed and I asked God to heal my heart from self-harm, heal my heart from like everything I was doing to try to control it. And he did. And then after that, we were under the stars with the same group, Cece, and, well, there was a girl named Kenzie. And we were under the stars, and I just felt like God was saying, why don't you trust me? Like, why don't you trust me? I've healed your heart. I've come into your brokenness. Why don't you trust me with your life? Because at that point, I wanted to plan everything I was doing, And that night, I was like, okay, God, I give you my life. Like, my plans, I surrender. Because they're so much better with you than they would be with me.
Amen.
And so, that was at camp. And then every summer has been kind of a big decision in my walk with Christ. Camp is a great place to begin a relationship with God. It's a great place to continue a relationship with God. And it's a great place to equip others to be in a relationship with God. So.
That's good.
Yes!
And so we both have had great experiences with camp in our spiritual walk.
Mm-hmm.
And Ellie shared a lot of her testimony just there. And my testimony has a lot to do with camp too. But also, we have been able to kind of dive into our gifts and talents and passions at camp. Camp has given us awesome opportunities to do that. I love public speaking, and I always have, and I just love like being on a stage and making people feel comfortable in the room and making them feel like they can let their guard down. And so that last year I had the opportunity actually to pursue that passion. I was a program assistant for Maranatha, and so what that means is I kind of planned, prepared, and did all the activities that camp had going. So I got to be hands-on with the kids. I got to do all of the chapels, do the games. So I was on stage pretty much all summer long, and I got to actually share a message at one of the camps. So that was really cool. I had like the best summer of my life this summer, just pursuing the gifts that God has given me, while also like I was making friends and I was working with like-minded people. Plus it was in the middle of a pandemic, so seeing God work and seeing things happen when honestly it felt impossible for anything to happen was just amazing. So yeah, camp has given us huge opportunities.
Excuse me.
You're excused.
Thanks. I've met a lot of people through camp. And the past past 5 years of my life, like a lot of things that I've done outside of camp have stemmed from people I met in camp, or at camp. And so it's kind of opened doors in that a lot. Like when I interned at their church, her dad's church, I wouldn't have done that if I didn't go to camp.
Yeah. And you had the summer to be the worship leader.
Yeah. What I love to do.
Yeah.
So that was good. My favorite memory one of my favorite memories working at camp was me and my RA at the time, which means like the person who...
Residential assistant.
Yeah, they are in charge of your dorm if you work there. Your head person.
Wait, residential...
I think so. They keep you in line. Anyway, at the time, it was Kristen Price. Shout out.
KP!
Also known as KP.
I love her.
Anyway, she and I... we would have these scare wars in the dorms, and it was so funny.
Oh, I have so many good.
So, I would wait for her to, like... get in the dorm, and I would wait. I waited for 2 hours one time. One time I was under the bed of her dorm room, and Savannah was also there. Savannah, if you're watching this, she had all her shoes under the bed, and they were camp shoes, so you know they weren't like the most pristine flower smelling shoes. Anyway, so I was laying under the bed for 2 hours.
Good night on living, girl.
Waiting for KP to come in, and it was past curfew, so it was like 11.
What's she doing?
And she came in, and it was dark.
She probably marked you absent.
And I grabbed her leg from under the bed, and she flipped. And it was so funny. That's just a random, like,
That's
occurrence.
hilarious.
Things.
I just like this.
I literally done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you've done 2.
That's because you keep taking the clippers and I don't want to ask for them.
They're right
I
there.
clipped all of these. Thank you. And I'm just thinking. Not really. I just want an excuse. In 2018, I was recreation director, and we were stressed out sometimes that summer. And so KP and I would literally just go around in her golf cart and talk and vent. And at that point in time, they hadn't redone the dining hall yet, and so they had their old floors, and their old floors had holes in them with, like, boards over the top, and we would stomp on those boards as loud as we could, and it was just great stress-relieving tactics. It was phenomenal. Yeah. Ow.
I'm sorry.
Got me back for elbowing you.
Yeah, you. Something.
Ouch. Also, a favorite memory was working with Chris Schlender and his band.
Yeah.
That was so fun. They're
Singing with them, it's a blast.
fun guys. Yeah, and they let me act. I haven't acted in a long time, and they let me be in their videos. It was Maranatha Vice, and it was hilarious. They were the best. But yeah, all of those guys. I can't even. Yeah, they're fun. They're fun.
These look like sparklers.
Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew.
Here's our progress.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is all of our bouquets. The artiste of 8 out of 10 of them. I hope that you guys have enjoyed our video. We can go on and on about Maranatha, really.
I'll probably do more.
Yeah.
Camp.
We'll probably have to do one where we have, like, scripted memories that we could tell. That's a good idea. So, yeah, we'll do that. But this was just kind of like an introduction to Maranatha and our experience there. And you also got to see things that we're going to do a little sneak peek for our event, which is coming up this Saturday. Make sure that you register November 4th.
Yeah, this Saturday.
Goodbye. We hope that you've enjoyed this video, and we will see you guys next week. Bye!